today we're going to be doing a tutorial and demo of the new connected workflows feature for Zoho CRM. So this is essentially a way that you can create multi-module processes that all kind of trigger from one consolidated user interface. So really excited to go through this here. As we go through it, I do want to make an early request for comments down below on what you think about this feature. I find myself right in the middle where, because it has certain functionality limitations, there's a lot of scenarios where I'm still going to use traditional workflows, but I'd love to hear from you all on what you think. So with that, let's jump right on in. So here I am inside of the CRM. Do note I'm using the CRM for Everyone UI, as that is what will support this connected records tab here that I'm going to be using as part of this process. So the connected records that we're going to use are going to be the deal, and then the demo and the onboarding. So we have two different records that are going to launch as part of our flow. As you would imagine, a demo might be created as part of our open deal stages. We're going to do it at the value proposition stage. And then the onboarding would be triggered once we've won that particular deal. So what exactly is a connected record? Well, a connected record is kind of a consolidated list of related records that can be launched and connected to a parent, again, our parent here being the deal, as part of our connected workflows process. So we'll see, I've got a bunch of them here that are applicable for this. And the cool thing about them, if I just manually create one real quick to show you this, we're going to leave this one pretty plain here just to get it created. Let's say we're going to do just some type of planned demo. Once you've created one of these connected records, it will show up here related to that deal in this one consolidated list. So if I had a demo and an onboarding, right, that had both been created for a deal, we'll see those as tabs within this one section of connected records. One of the reasons you might end up using connected records is to get out of having so many related lists over here on the left of all these different modules that get created and related to a deal. You might find yourself preferring instead to use connected records because it brings everything up into this one consolidated space. So I'm going to delete these real quick and then we'll jump right on in. All right, so how exactly do we set these up? So I'm jumping in here into our settings. I'm going to use the search bar here. I've found myself using the search quite a lot in this new settings UI because it is a big scroll. So here we have our connected workflows, and I'm going to create a new one here. We're going to call this our deals standard process. We're going to choose a primary module. That would be the deal in this case. Now, what you'll see is that I can actually still reference some information from the related account and contact to that deal, but this would be like the primary place where my triggers are going to occur. So once I've created this here, it starts off in this kind of flowchart style builder. If I click on my deal up here at the top, I can start to see how I would add a trigger. And down here is where I could start connecting in my modules. Now, the way that I would really think about doing this, though, is I would start with the trigger rather than the module, because you can add this module as you're setting up your trigger criteria. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a trigger and say, hey, if a deal is either created or edited such that the stage is, let's say, value proposition. Now I'm going to turn off repeat. I generally don't want these to repeat and create multiple demo records. And what you'll see is this is very similar to your standard workflow, right? You've got your create or edit trigger. You're dropping in your criteria. These can be multiple sets of criteria as well. In my case, it's just going to be this one. I can also bring in some other module criteria. So I could say, hey, if this is related to something that also has a particular field value, I can encapsulate that in my workflow builder. But here, once I click next, now we have our suite of actions, or essentially things that we can do as a part of this flow. Now, you will notice as we look at our connected actions, well, it doesn't have everything that we would normally have as a part of a workflow, right? Things that are missing here, if we go ahead and just open up our workflow builder to actually take a look side by side, we'll find some areas and some gaps, right? So if I were to be creating, let's say, a workflow rule as part of, my standard deal process, let's go ahead, we'll create a deal example rule. Let's say we're just going to trigger this on every creation of every deal. We'll go with our all deals criteria. We have a lot more, right? We can add tags, we can change owners, we can trigger functions and webhooks and dynamically create tasks and meetings. So again, you're going to have more of that upside functionality in your standard workflows. What you find with these workflows is, imagine I have, 4 or 5 different connected modules that might be a part of my process. What you can imagine is that you'll end up having 10, 12, 13 different workflows triggering in all those different places just to create records, send emails, do those kind of standard actions. So the idea of a connected record and a connected workflow is that I can essentially create these more easily and in a more consolidated spot. So I'm going to go in, we're going to say, hey, our default is going to be a video meeting. Our default status is going to be planned, and we're going to pull that owner from either a default user or from a point of reference. So maybe here I would want to say, hey, pull this from the deal owner of that deal, right? Let's say they would be the one doing the demo. Now, we can also add additional fields. So the things in this dropdown are essentially the fields that are a part of the demo record. So here I could say, hey, the demo is requested by the contact on that particular deal, right? So I can go ahead and drop that in, right? I could also say, hey, the account on file for this demo should be the parent account or the account of that deal. So actually here I'd come in and choose my account name. Here I think I would actually change this over to my contact name inside of that deal, right? So I'm essentially just taking some of these fields from my deal record and I'm dropping them into the appropriate place inside of my related or connected record. So I'm going to go ahead and click save. But if we also wanted to, let's say, send a notification, you can do that same thing here all as a part of that particular connected record process. So maybe anytime that we set up a demo, we want to notify this guy who does all of our demos, or we want to notify this group or group inbox that we want to have. We can do that. We can pull from any of our templates. I'm just going to pull from an existing template here, and then I can click save. So now in this one little trigger, we've actually done the creation of the demo record, and we've also done the notification that should go out as a part of that, right? So you can now start to see, okay, this is kind of the point, right? I'm building out these multi-step processes all inside of one place. Now, let's repeat these steps here and do this for our onboarding, right? So now we'll say, hey, if a record is created or edited, again, 99% of the time, there's going to be an edit. I just think, hey, maybe we forgot to create one and we're adding it later. But we're saying that the stage is closed one. Now, what we'll do is go ahead and create an onboarding record, right? So as we're moving through each of these steps, we're essentially pulling in the relevant data and using it to create these modules that will then allow certain people to be notified, different teams to be brought into the loop, and the process to move forward efficiently. So here, basically, I'm using a merge tag and I'm saying, hey, onboarding for this company. This would be like setting the default name of that onboarding record. The user, again, I could pull dynamically from my deal. This is one of those cases where maybe you have a custom user lookup field for the account executive and you'd pull them in instead of the owner, right? But those are just things that will depend specifically on your process. Here, again, I'm just kind of mapping some additional fields, pulling them in from values on the deal record or from static values. Like I'm just saying, hey, every time I launch one of these, set the onboarding status to pending. That's kind of our default status. And then we'll move it forward as we need to as we're moving through that flow. I needed to scroll down just a little bit there. Oops, we go to our deal and we'll choose our contact. And we'll click save. So now what you'll start to see is that as I'm building out these different triggers, things are branching and things are happening, right? So we're actually looking into the multi-step processes. Now, let's say that something also needs to trigger when a demo moves through a process. Well, we can do that exact same thing here, right? So now I'm saying, hey, when a demo, let's say, hits the status of, let's find out, let's say completed, we'll again turn off our repeats. I always generally just recommend turning those off. We could create another connected record, right? So let's say in this case, once they have finished a demo, we're going to help them find funding, just as an example, right? So just to move through, I'll grab my account name again, and we'll call this our funding source. Our owner, let's just have it be our logged in user, and then we'll click save. And then let's say last but not least, once our funding source hits a certain status or has a certain thing occurred. So let's say that once the funding source is, we're going to add a status and be right back. Quick little edit. All right, so we added a quick little status field there. And now we're going to say, hey, once the status of our funding request goes to complete, let's now run an update, right? So let's maybe reach back up to the deal. Maybe we'll grab something like stage, and then we'll update it to the value, identify decision makers. Maybe we'll move it to price quote. So once they've finalized the funding process, we can move forward to that next step. Now here, again, because we're going up in the hierarchy, we can make a pretty clean update to this record. You would think about the inverse. I can have a trigger in my deal update maybe like a demo, but if you're thinking about data hierarchy, you might be thinking, well, I could have multiple demos associated with one deal. So if you're going up in the hierarchy, you're probably pretty safe to use like an all records type of filter because it's rare that we're going to see more than one deal associated to a single funding source. In other cases, you'd want to come in and actually filter and make sure that you're only hitting certain deals, right, based on some field criteria. So now we essentially have a flow here that goes through multiple steps. When our deal hits value proposition, we're going to reach down and create that demo record. Once the demo record hits its appropriate status, then we're going to create the funding source. Once the funding source is complete, we're going to update the deal. And once the deal goes to closed won, we're going to reach down and create our onboarding record, right? So again, this is maybe 4 or 5 different workflows here that have all been brought into one consolidated environment. So let's go ahead and publish this, jump back over to our deal and actually see it working. So first thing I'm going to do is jump over and move this to value proposition. That would trigger the creation of our demo record. So we can see down here in our connected records that has been created. It has the name of 5 just because we have some auto number naming conventions set up here on the record. And we'll see that it pulled in those fields that we had mapped. We'll also see it's got this lookup field that will connect us back to the deal. So while I am filling in this lookup field, honestly, this one here is mostly out of habit, right? I just am always someone who carries my lookups down relationships. You technically don't need to because you have access to that connected to value. Now, next thing that we would expect is that once this demo moves to completed, it will trigger the creation of that funding sources record. So we'll give this a quick little refresh and we'll see there it is connected down to our demo. Now, one thing I will highlight that I've kind of learned as I'm playing through this is that the funding source, because it's a connected record of the demo, does not inherently show up here in the deal. So in future versions of this, what I might actually do is have the demo make an update to the deal and then have that create the funding source record, right? Just to keep everything linked up to that deal-centric hierarchy. But that's really just going to depend on your particular use case, right? And what makes sense for you and where you want to have certain data visibility. Next up, though, if I move this funding source status to complete and jump over to my deal, once I give this a refresh, we should see, boom, our status has updated accordingly, right? So again, we're just moving through each of those individual steps, making sure that they're happening. So my demo's been created. Once that's complete, my funding source has been created. And once I've updated that to completed, my stage on the deal has now moved. Last thing I need to do is move it over to closed won, fill in my city and my state, because I guess those are required fields in this demo account, and click save. Now, just like that, I've got my onboarding record created as well and linked up to my deal. So again, the main learning here is realistically, in this type of scenario, based on what a funding source would be, you'd probably want this connected directly to the deal rather than the demo. In other cases, you might have flows where you don't need all that visibility, and most people are going to just click through to like the level 2 record without going one level deeper. All of that stuff is going to come down to your particular use case and your preference. So with that, that's kind of our demo and tutorial here on the process as a whole. Again, if you've spent a lot of time inside of the traditional workflow builder, most of this will feel pretty normal. The main things here that I would like to highlight really is just that in those scenarios where you need a deluge function, you need to post data externally via a webhook, you're likely still going to have to use a traditional workflow rule. I kind of see these fitting in a little bit like blueprints, where a lot of the times you're going to run the majority of your process out of a blueprint, kind of just using the transitions, the actions that occur thereafter. But there have always been things in blueprints like do this thing 3 days later that we would break out into a separate workflow that are just kind of a necessary thing because of the limitations of that process management tool. So I see this kind of similarly, where I might build out the broad strokes of a process here as a part of my connected workflows, just to have everything in one place. And then at certain points in the process, create specific workflow rule automations that cover a gap, right? That trigger that workflow to send an SMS, right? Or whatever it might be for your business. I definitely do want to ask, leave a comment down below with your thoughts on this functionality as a whole. I'm really interested to see what people think about it. While you're down there, make sure to like and subscribe to see more content like this in the future. It's a totally free way to help us out. And if you'd like any help setting this up inside of your Zoho account, just head on over to zenatta.com and click on book a meeting. We'd love to talk. With that, we're ready to wrap up here for today. So as always, my name is Tyler Colt, and I will see you next time.